You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates. Sarah's out for the moment, but she'll be back with us for more Coffee Hour this week. Joining me today is Sue Nahmensen, CEO for Lutheran Elementary School Association here in St. Louis. Sue, thanks so much for being my guest on The Coffee Hour today.
Well, Andy, thank you for inviting us to share a little bit about our ministry and our Lutheran schools with your listeners.
I am always excited to talk about Lutheran schools. My son is a student at St. Mark's and in Eureka, Missouri, and we just love the teachers there and love how much the school community has been a part of our family this past year. Even in light of all that's happening, St. Mark's School has still been, Lutheran School has been a part of our family and still continuing to go on. And so that's one of the things I want to talk about today is how are Lutheran schools partnering with families during this time of significant change. I know that, but before we get into that, share with us a little bit about what Lutheran Elementary School Association is for our listeners who might not be familiar with LESA.
Oh, certainly, Andy. LESA, which is Lutheran Elementary School Association, is a resource to the 31 Lutheran elementary and 3 Lutheran high schools in the metropolitan St. Louis area. Our agency, through the gifts and contributions of our wonderful donors and event guests, provide tuition assistance for students in kindergarten through 8th grade so they can access Lutheran education. And we also provide the academic resources that many of our schools value and rely on in order to continue their mission to provide high-quality academic instruction to their students. So we're a partner in Lutheran education and take that responsibility and that blessing very seriously. And again, it's all, of course, thanks to our wonderful donors and event guests that help us make that ministry possible.
So how have you seen Lutheran schools and partnering with families during this time? What are the stories you're hearing from schools across the St. Louis area and how they're working through this like the rest of us are?
Well, it's certainly been a learning curve and a challenge, but we're hearing such wonderful things, Andy, from our school leaders and many of the teachers as well as many of the parents. Our schools really turned on a dime, if you will, to kind of retool and provide virtual learning opportunities for their students. And I think that's one advantage that our Lutheran schools have. Our educators can respond very quickly to change, and they have done a great job by providing e-learning opportunities through Zoom, there's a variety of different products out there, Microsoft products, Google products, but the learning is continuing, the instruction is continuing, and that's, been a real blessing. So our students won't lose, the month of March and April, and, who knows how long this will continue, but our students will still receive that quality and wonderful instruction from those Lutheran educators moving forward. And I think the parents are really appreciating that. From what we've heard, of course, many of our parents are working at home these days, so it's been a challenge for them to balance that kind of oversight of their children's educational careers now as they look at these coming weeks. And managing their own work environment. But it seems like it's moving, that first week we hear was kind of that test period, but it seems to be moving forward, and we're hearing really great stories. Parents are really pleased with, again, that care and concern that our teachers are providing. And, that's something that makes our Lutheran schools different from a lot of other educational entities. Our teachers really do love and care for their kids. They want to nurture them. They want to be there spiritually for them because our kids are also affected by this situation. Parents in many cases aren't working. Some are working from home. It's a very different lifestyle right now for all of us. And our teachers are not only there for that academic instruction, but they are also there spiritually for those students and for their families. So it's, again, it's that whole change in the way we work, the way we live, and the way we spend our leisure time right now here in the United States.
You mentioned earlier that the work of Lutheran Elementary School Association includes scholarships for students and also professional development for teachers, for educators. What is the need? What do you anticipate the need being as well? What is the current need, and what do you anticipate the need being this fall when school resumes as well? Paint a picture for us of what that need you think will look like.
Well, we are anticipating that the need will increase, and Andy, honestly, we have seen a steady increase over the past 4 or 5 years in the number of applications that families submit for tuition assistance. And of course, it's need-based, based on the family income and what portion they pay for their child's kindergarten through 8th grade Lutheran school tuition. So we've already seen an increase that has been kind of the normal. But now, as we look to this new normal, with so many families being furloughed, being laid off from work, and I think just that uncertainty, I think we will see an even greater increase in applications for the 2020-21 academic year. And I think a lot of parents are going to have to make some difficult decisions. Without financial aid, they may not be able to keep their children in the Lutheran schools that those kids love and thrive in. So it's very important for LESA right now to be there for our families, as well as for our educators to continue the quality programming that LESA provides to assist with their professional development, which in turn, of course, benefits the students.
And you mentioned one of the ways that happens, that support happens, it comes from event attendees. And I know that you had your spring dinner auction all lined up and ready to go, which was a fantastic event. I had the opportunity to attend last year. Just an amazing dinner and live auction and silent auction. It's a fantastic event. I get to honor students and supporters as well at that event. And obviously, things are going to be a little bit different this year with social distancing and avoiding crowds. So how can we still support Lutheran education right here in the St. Louis area with that event, I'm sure, being changed?
Well, we'd love to have our community support of our students in Lutheran schools. I probably didn't mention that 1 out of every 10 students in kindergarten through 8th grade in our St. Louis Lutheran schools receives funding from LESA. And yes, our wonderful Cooking for Kids Gala, which was to have taken place on April 18th, regretfully had to be canceled. A very difficult decision. We really enjoy seeing all of our donors and our event guests. It's one time during the year that everybody comes together and really rallies around this ministry. So in absence of that live event, we have moved to a virtual auction. It's an online auction that will be launched on April 18th. We will have some of our items that we would normally offer in our silent auction, wonderful baskets, some great one-of-a-kind items, some fabulous jewelry pieces. So they will be offered and open for online bidding from April 18th through April 25th. And then on the 26th, we will launch the items that we typically would be offering to our guests during the live auction, had we had an in-person event. And that will be open for about a week from April 26th to May the 3rd. And those involve some, show tickets like Hamilton tickets, Cardinals, fabulous Cardinals seats, some just fabulous jewelry items, some trips, concerts, sporting event tickets. I think there's a Yeti cooler, some Brew in the Lou vouchers in there also for our event in the fall. So just some wonderful things. And, many of those items have been donated by our support group. And those individuals wanted those items to help our students, and we are doing everything we can to make that happen, to use those wonderful items for the purposes for which they were intended, and that's tuition assistance and educational support for our schools.
How can we find information about the virtual auction? Where can we find that information?
You can find that at www.lesa, and that's LESA, STL.org. and you will want to go to the event tab. You can find the preview for the online auction available for your viewing pleasure at this point in time. And then there's also a little navigation tab there for the mission and an announcement about the cancellation of the live event. But we're certainly hoping that everyone will move along with us in this new virtual environment in which we're living, and sit back and shop the catalog and place some bids and generously support the students in our Lutheran schools.
One other thing that happens typically at the Spring Gala is honoring and acknowledging the Lutheran Student Christian Leader Award, the recipient of that. Tell us a little bit about that award.
Okay, well, that is an award. Every year, LESA recognizes an outstanding student Christian leader. And Andy, I have to tell you, we have so many wonderful students in our Lutheran schools, and it was a tough selection process this year because we did have many wonderful nominees for that particular award. However, we were able to identify Ella Arbiter, who is an 8th grade student at Green Park in South County, as our Lutheran Student Christian Leader Award winner for the 2020 year. She has a great story. She was raised by a single mom, and her mother, Emily, made it a priority for Ella to receive a Lutheran Christian education. Both she and her mom are involved in a lot of mission work. They actually spent a year in Hong Kong on a mission trip. This little girl definitely has a servant heart and ministry and mission in her soul. And we're just really sorry that we couldn't honor her in person this year, but we're going to make every effort to give her a big shout out and tell our community just how wonderful she is and what a blessing she's been to the Green Park community and to those in her family as well.
Wow, outstanding. Well, we're happy to share that story here, and so grateful for the work that you're doing to support Lutheran elementary schools, Lutheran schools in the St. Louis area. We are just about out of time. I want to point folks to the website again. LESASTL.org is the website for Lutheran Elementary School Association. You can find information there on the virtual auction and all that's going on with Lutheran Elementary School Association. Sue, thank you so much for being my guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Thank you for having us, Andy, and just ask your listeners to please pray for our Lutheran schools and their communities so they can continue their ministries well beyond the current health crisis. So thanks for having me.
I'm Andy Bates. Thanks for joining us for the Coffee Hour today.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.